Hare Krishna. Welcome all for the English Daily Gita program. So let us start our program with offering our obeisances to deities of ISKCON Seshadripuram, Sri Sri Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Maharani, Sudarshana, Nitai Chaitanya, Vamanadeva and Panchatattva. Let us offer our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा Rama Rama Hare Hare. Today we are reading from the chapter 14. The chapter is named The Three Modes of Material Nature. So today we are going to see 7 shloka. Rajo Ragatmakam Viddhi Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam Tani Baddhanti Kaunteya Karma Sangena Dehina. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. So now we are in the chapter number 14. The 14th chapter is named The Three Modes of Material Nature. Prakriti, three gunas. Actually, three gunas means rope, the rope which will bind us. And in this particular section, also we are seeing about how different material modes are binding the living entity. So this chapter started with Lord Krishna purifying this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita and particularly the three modes of material nature. And in the 3rd and 4th shlokas, we have seen already how the living entity is impregnated in the material nature, Prakriti, by the Supreme Lord. He says, Aham Bija Pradapita. I am the seed-giving father and I have impregnated all the living entities into the Prakriti. So they take birth. So in the 5th shloka also, Lord, 5th shloka onwards, Lord started telling about the Trigunas. So goodness, passion, ignorance, 3 things he has introduced. In the 8th chapter also, he has given slightly a hint about the Trigunas, Prakriti Trigunas, how they are binding. And in this 14th chapter, we are going to see in conclude very elaborate way how these Trigunas are binding the living entity. In the 6th shloka also it is said about the mode of goodness. O sinless one, the mode of goodness being purer than the others is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Even though it is freeing one from all the sinful reactions, still it is binding. So it is said, those situated in that mode becomes conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. So people in the mode of goodness also, they are also conditioned. Now, in this shloka, we are going to see how the mode of passion is going to condition the living entity. Okay. So this mode of passion is characterized by the attraction between the man and woman. So woman is attracted towards the man and man is attracted towards the woman. And this is called the mode of passion. Because of this mode of passion, because of this attraction between the man and woman, what happens? There is an hankering for the material enjoyment. I want this object. I want that object. I want to attain so and so position. I want to get this. I want to get that. There is a continuous flow of unlimited desires. Continuous flow, unlimited desires. If one desire is satisfied, then another one is ready. If that is also satisfied, there is a long queue of some more than 10, 15, 20 items. Even this checklist or pending list of desires of 15, 20 also cleared. There is another lot of more than 100 desires. They are ready to overpower the living entity. So this mode of passion, it creates such a situation. So there is a desire for sense gratification. Continuously, the living entity wants to desire his senses to be gratified. Two things will happen. Suppose if he gets desire and his senses, that particular desire is satisfied, what happens? He get that desires, he will be satisfied, and he gets the attachment with that. If it doesn't get satisfied, that desire will get intensified and he will make many efforts, many efforts, and he tries to take up the different ways and sometimes illegal ways also to attain this particular desire. So to meet his sense gratification, what he wants, two things he wants. One is he wants honor in the society. I am such a big person. He is a great person. He is a very expert person. He wants some good name in the society. And second thing is he wants happy family. He wants to have nice wife, nice children, a big bungalow, very big sophisticated car, and so much of properties, business, everything he wants to acquire. So it's not easy to get all these things also. So he wants honor in the society. Second thing is he wants nice family and all other properties. But in order to get them and maintain them, what he has to do? He has to work very hard. And continuously his wife and children also needs to be satisfied by him. So to please them, what he does? He becomes entangled into the work, that is the fruitive activities, fruitive actions. Continuously he starts doing these activities and there is no end to these activities. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, 8th shloka, it is said, Pumsa striya maithunim bhavametam tayormido hridaya grandimahu ato kshetra sutapta vittair janasya mohoya mahammameti. It is said, the attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this conception, which ties together the hearts of male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusion and thinks in terms of I and mine. This is one particular important aspect is described in this shloka, that is Hridaya Grandhi Mahuhu. This is Hridaya Grandhi Mahuhu. What is Hridaya Grandhi Mahuhu? So, in the material world, because in a jail, a particular prisoner is bound with ropes and shackles. Similarly, in the material world also, when we came from the spiritual world to this material world, we are also bound by a particular shackle. Thus, particular shackle is invisible, but still it is there. What is that? That particular shackle is the desire for sex. Sex desire serves as a natural attraction between the man and woman. This is the basic principle of the entire material civilization. This is the basic thing. And it is the highest pleasure anyone can experience, the so-called pleasure in this material world. So what happens because of this desire, sex desire, there is an attraction between the man and woman. So when attraction is there, what happens next stage? They will get married. They will get married and that relationship will be formalized and they becomes more and more involved. The man thinks that she is my wife and I have to satisfy all her material desires. And woman thinks that he is my husband and I have to give him all the pleasure and whatever service I can do, I have to do and serve him. So in this way, the relationship between them becomes so intense, so intense. And this is an entangling relationships. This is an entangling relationship. And there is a, because of that entangling relationship, there is a sense of illusion and everybody thinks that she is my wife and he is my husband, like that. And this is the way of life. There is no other thing more than this. Like that, both men and women, they will think. And this particular aspect is called, this particular illusion is called Hridaya Grandhi. And that particular inability is described as Hridaya Grandhi Daudbhalyam. And it is said in many places, and all the scriptures will guide us to get out of this Hridaya Grandhi Daudbhalyam. This particular knot, this is very, very hard knot in our hearts. And it is very, very difficult to untie this particular knot. So, because of this Hridaya Grandhi, what happens? This leads to one thing, that the man Gruhakshetra Suta Apta Vittai. So once the particular person, he gets married. So in order to satisfy his wife, what he does? He creates children and he creates family. He creates so many properties he will acquire. In order to maintain the property, what he does? He engages so many servants. And in order to continue his sense gratification, he has to earn the money with their. So in order to maintain all these things and enjoyment, he needs society and friends, honor in the society. So for all these things, he has to work hard, very, very hard he has to work. In this way, the living entity, until he dies, he becomes entangled in these particular actions and reactions of these fruitive activities. And anyone is supporting his sense gratificatory activities, he will be considered as his friend. And anyone who want to usurp his properties or anyone who is obstructing his these sense gratificatory propensities, he becomes his enemy. So slowly, what happens? He continuously identifies himself with the family, property, and wealth. Sorry. He becomes entangled in that. So it is said, Aurangzeb also, he was so much infatuated with the expansion of his kingdom. In his last battle, where he died, at that time, his age was more than 80 years. And at that time, he would have given the charge of his war to a particular commander. But he is very much attached to the war and expanding his kingdom. So practically, he was there on a palanquin. He is unable to ride the horse also. But still, he wants to directly supervise the war and he wants to win the war. That is the attachment the Jiva living entity will have these fruitive activities. We have seen so many politicians also. They are not ready to take the retirement. They are not ready to take the retirement until some force measure comes, serious health issues comes, or somebody kills him, or death has come. Till that time, they want to continue in that particular post or position. This is all Hridaya Grandhi. And he wants to continue this position of sense enjoyment. All this comes under the mode of passion. So he wants to continue this enjoyment. He wants to satisfy everybody. So what people will do? People start doing the Ugra Karma. Ugra Karma, very, very hard karmas. We have seen recently this moonlighting. There is a concept in the COVID time when people started working from the homes. Some people, they took up jobs in 2 companies at the same time, which is not legal actually. So they earned 2 salaries. Each company, they used to work 8 hours. So total 16 hours they used to work, 16, 15 hours. So what happens to them? Their health. This is called Ugra Karma. So in order to maintain this position, the mode of passion, when the mode of passion is very much intensified, the living entity is bound by this fruitive action, the results of his fruitive action. He is bound by that. So here, some few important things. This raga is mentioned here. Raga means colored. So living entity sees the different sense gratificatory things as a colors. Everything is colored by his unlimited desires. So when the desire is ragatmakam, there is an attraction. There is an attraction between the man and woman. Material mode of passion means attraction between the man and woman. When one does not obtain one desires objects, then there develops Trishna, desire, intense desire. When one is satisfied, obtains one particular object, he gets what he develops? He develops attachment to that particular object. So both are binding. Both are binding. The mode of passion binds the spiritual soul by attachment. How this attachment sangha comes? By the desire and Trishna. So in the quest of this future and the present goals, the living entity is bound by this. In the modern world, we have seen more or less everything is run by this mode of passion only. So previously, in the previous yugas, one's advancement is considered based on the mode of goodness. But in the present materialistic world, everything is measured by the advancement in the mode of passion. So we have seen in the mode of goodness also, even though the sinful reactions are nullified in the mode of goodness, they are destroyed. There is no chance of liberation for the mode of goodness. When persons in the mode of goodness are not liberated, there is no question of any liberation for a person in the mode of passion. So we have to understand the basic principle of this. Basic principle of this mode of passion is attraction between man and woman. And slowly, by executing the devotional service, by performing the devotional service under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, so we have to cut this hard knot of Hridaya Grandhi. We have to cut this hard knot, the particular Hridaya Grandhi, and then slowly we have to get out of this material world. So some exalted personalities like Lord Brahma and Manu, for them, this wife and children, they are not entanglement. They are actually helping them in furthering their spiritual life and their liberation. Similarly, if we also make our children and family spiritual and Krishna consciousness, so in fact, they will not become an obstruction for our liberation, and they will help us in our endeavor for the liberation actually. So it is very important that It is not that we only have to become Krishna consciousness. No, if we make our family also Krishna conscious and then engage them in the Krishna conscious activities in various ways, then in turn, they will help us in getting the liberation. Otherwise, it is very, very difficult to untie or cut this particular knot, Hridaya Grandhi. So all the scriptures, they will prescribe us, you cut this particular hard knot and you cut this knot, and all our efforts must be guided and directed towards cutting this hard knot of Hridaya Grandhi. So the simplest way to get out of this, to get this hard knot untied, is to chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Any doubts or anything you can say, Mataji's Prabhuji's?